Hi everyone, welcome to another maths video by Maths with Sarah. So today we're going to be looking at a question from a Key Stage 2 or Year 6 SATS paper. So this is aimed at children who are about 10 to 11 years old. But I do reckon it will also be really good revision for older children or for younger children who want a bit of a challenge. Okay, so this question here is about different pairs of socks. So we've got knee socks that we can buy one pair for £5.45. We've got ankle socks, we can buy 3 pairs for £7.50. And we've got trainer socks, we can buy 5 pairs for £8.50. So we've got quite a lot of information in the question. We've got Kirsty buys 1 pair of knee socks. So I'm just going to put a circle around these. 1 pair of knee socks and 3 pairs of ankle socks. She pays with a £20 note. How much change does she get? Now, this is a multi-step question. There's quite various different bits and pieces that you need to do to get the answer to this one. So let's have a go through it and we'll see how we get on. So we know that 1 pair of knee socks costs £5.45. And we know that 3 pairs of ankle socks cost £7.50. So hopefully what you'll realise is that we need to find the total of these two so we can find out how much money she spent in total. So to do that, we'll add the two together. Now, as with a lot of these questions, there are a lot of different ways of working these out. So don't worry if you don't do your adding in quite the same way as this. This is how I do it, but it really doesn't matter. There are multiple different ways of doing it. So if we add the 5 and the 0, then we get 5, the 4 and the 5, we get 9. Remember to put the decimal point in or the point between the pounds and the pennies. And then lastly, we'll do 5 plus 7, and that equals 12. So now we know that Kirsty has spent £12.95 in total. So we know how much she spent, but what we want to know is how much change she gets after she pays with a £20 note. So let's have a look at that. So what we need to do is we know that she has used £20. How much does she, and she spent £12.95 of that. So how much change does she get? So let's have a think. So if we were to add 5p to this, how much would we end up with? We'd get £13 in total, wouldn't we? Now, what do we need to add to 13? So that just rounds it up to the nearest whole number, which just makes it a little bit easier to deal with. Again, with this part of the question, there are multiple different ways of doing it. So if you have done it a different way, really don't worry about it. As long as your method gets you the right answer, it really doesn't matter what method you choose. So now we've got £13. This is like our step in the middle, just to make the maths easier. Stepping stone in the middle. And then we know that she's also going to get £7 as well, because we know that if we add, the difference between 13 and 20 is £7. So now we've got £7 and 5p. So there we go, we've got £7 and 5p. And remember, we need to write it like this. So we've got 05 because it's 5p rather than 50p. Put the 5 here, it'll be 50p. Okay. So we now know that the total amount of change that she was given was £7 and 5 pence. Now, these sorts of questions where you've been given some information and then you've been asked how much change is received are questions that come up all the time. So I really encourage you to have a practice at these. Again, I've got a few of the YouTube videos that do give you some practice on this, and I really recommend that you get something that you get really comfortable on. Okay, so we've done the first part of the question. Let's have a look now at the second part of the question. So I'm just going to rub off what we've done so far. I've got a little bit of space to look at the next part of the question. Okay, so the second part of the question is we've been told that Amy spends £25.50 on trainer socks. So again, really important now we understand what we're looking at. We're only looking at trainer socks. These others, don't care about those. Those aren't trainer socks, so we're not interested. So Amy spends £25.50 on trainer socks. How many pairs of trainer socks does she get? Now remember, we get 5 pairs for £8.50. So we need to bear that in mind when we get to the end of the question. Okay, so we know that Amy can buy for £8.50. She gets 5 pairs of socks. And she can just put 5 pairs of socks. But we want to know how much she can get for £25.50. So what I would do for this question is I would then start to double it. So we know that that gives her 5 pairs. Let's see how much 10 pairs will cost. Okay, so if we double this one and we get £16, if we double 50p, we get an extra pound, so that'll be £17 in total. It's not quite looking like a 7. £17 in total, and this would give us 10 pairs. Okay, so we've still got a little bit of money left over. So let's try adding again. So we've added one lot, let's add another lot. So let's do 8 plus 17, and that will give you 25. And again, we've got nothing here. We know this is the same as having 0, 0 here, so we can add the 50 on the end. So this will be 8 plus 17 is 25, and then we've got to add the 50p as well. Excellent. So we've got £25.50, and that's how much you've spent on trainer socks in total. And we know that we've added these two together, so we've got 15 pairs in total. Okay, it's a lot of trainer socks actually, isn't it? So how many pairs of trainer socks does she get? She gets 15 pairs. So this is where it's important to remember that we're dealing with 5 pairs at a time. So you could go down and work out what 1 pair costs, but I honestly think that makes it a little bit more complicated, which is why I quite like using this method where we're just jumping up by 5 pairs each time until we get to the number that we're looking for. Again, there are lots of different ways of doing it. So if you've done it a different method, it really doesn't matter. As long as you've got the right answer, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that is the end of the video for today. Again, these are really concepts that I think are really important. They're concepts that come up all the time in SATS papers. And when you start to take maths a little bit further, when you're heading towards GCSEs or senior school maths, these are concepts that come up all the time. So really important that you get comfortable with these. I've got lots of videos involving this sort of thing, so I recommend that you check them out and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching.